Have you ever thought about what happens to your money when you're going through a really busy season? I'll tell you what happens in my life. When we're so busy that we can't even think, things go missing. We spend a little bit more than we mean to. Maybe we don't hit a goal that we were striving for, and we end up being okay with it because busy. But when we can slow down and think a little bit more methodically and strategically, things tend to work out a little bit better. Welcome to Stewardology, a podcast where two worlds collide. In this show, financial advisor Tim Russell and Pastor Gysi are joined by me, producer Tyler Rutherford, to explore the intersection of financial stewardship and theology. Their unique perspectives help Christians and churches understand and apply a biblical framework for everyday financial decisions so Christians everywhere can grow in their walk with Christ through biblical stewardship. Before we get started, we just wanted you to know that the topics discussed in this podcast are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific investment advice or recommendations. Investment and investment strategies involve risk, including the potential loss of principal, and past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Securities and advisory services are offered through Genius Wealth Management, member FINRA, and SIPC. Without further ado, here are your hosts, Tim Russell, Gysi, and Tyler Rutherford.
Welcome to the Stewardology Podcast. My name is Tim Russell, and I'm with my hosts here, Gysi.
Hey, everybody.
And Tyler Rutherford.
Hello.
And we had a fun episode last time talking about some of our favorite books. And one of the books that did not make the list is because we're going to talk about it in today's episode under the category of you need to just slow down. If you're busy, if you're like me, if you're busy like me, you probably ought to just take a big deep breath and relax, slow down. And I think Christmas time is a good time for us to think about things that matter the most to us and to our families and to the kingdom of God. So the book I'd like to talk about today is from John Mark Comer. It's the Ruthless, Elimination of Hurry. It's a good book. It's helpful in a lot of ways. I got quibbles with some things in the book. I got a number of quibbles, but the essence of the book, I think, is particularly helpful. And I heard an acronym that someone shared with me recently. He said that when someone asks, how are you doing? And you say, I'm doing good, busy. You know what busy stands for? He says, busy is an acronym. It stands for being under Satan's yoke.
I heard that decades ago.
Well, I'm not giving that response anymore. Busy.
So I'm struggling to kind of like, okay, I want to be truthful and think about this. But the reality is, I think Satan is the god of the busy. And I have to be cautious about that because I'm not saying that Christians aren't busy, no, but that Satan loves busyness and Satan brings or encourages us to be busier than perhaps we should be. So what I'm thinking about in terms of this episode is that he's got a solution to this hurried, frenetic pace of life that we need to build into our own lives to protect us from getting trapped in the busy mindset. So his solutions are this. Number one, you need to build the practice of solitude and silence. The practice of Sabbath. I really liked that part in particular. I need to practice more of that. Simplicity. I had lots of problems with his point on simplicity. I think there's a lot of value there, but I also think we don't need to be Gnostic. Having things are not necessarily bad, but yes, things can push God out of our lives. Mm-hmm. So there's a balance to be had. And then the chapter that I'd like to talk about is slowing down. So he gives us 20 things that we can look at or consider to put into our lives to help us to just slow down so that we can think about our lives, so we can think about what God's doing in our lives, and so that we don't have to just bow to the busyness of our world.
If you're wondering why we're talking about this on a stewardship podcast, I just want to posit this question to you. Have you ever thought about what happens to your money when you're going through a really busy season? I'll tell you what happens in my life. When we're so busy that we can't even think, things go missing. We spend a little bit more than we mean to. Maybe we don't hit a goal that we were striving for, and we end up being okay with it because busy. But when we can slow down and think a little bit more methodically and strategically, things tend to work out a little bit better. So as we approach Christmas and the new year and we're getting ready to start another fantastic year, let's just remember, sometimes we need to slow down so that we can set ourselves up better for success and not merely react to the situations that we're found in.
And let me jump in with that idea of being busy. I hear this all the time on the road with Life Institute. Our lives are so busy. We're taking this kid to soccer, this one to baseball, this one, we need to eat out here. The kids are hungry here. We get so busy that we are allowing our budget to blow up because of the busyness. And we're too frantic of these things. So this slowing down, thinking ahead, processing before things happen can really make a big difference, not just in your life, in your family, but also in your finances.
Mm-hmm. It's good for your heart and your wallet, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So slowing down, the reason we want to talk about slowing down, I think, is in part because we need to do it for the sake of our minds and for the sake of our souls. So he says in the book, our minds are portals to our whole person, so that we think, or so what we think has all sorts of ramifications for how we experience life with God. Slow down so that we have time to think and process so that we can actually focus on our life with God. And he goes on to talk about then in terms of our soul, this whole mind-body connection, we need to slow down to give our time to taste and see that the Lord is good.
Amen.
Right? We need to slow down the pace of our souls so that we can actually taste and see that the Lord is good, that life in this world is good too. So I think at this time of year, especially for busy people working and serving the kingdom, doing good things, let's slow down. Here's some 20 different things or ways to slow down.
Before we jump in there, I want to say there may be a difference between busy and fast. Yeah. I think I want to speak to that real quick. Busy means that things are going crazy around you at times, that you're constantly getting pulled in different directions. Fast could be more focused and understanding. Just a situation that happened with my wife and I just a few weeks ago. I shared in a few episodes ago that I'm getting ready to undergo some prostate radiation treatments. We were meeting with the doctor. And I got the best case scenario. Praise the Lord. We are so grateful. I prefer his fingerprints to remove it, but God is also using doctors to be able to bring this about. But the doctor was just sharing some of the things I may go through as I go through these 5 high-intensity radiation treatments. And one of the things he said was, you're going to be lethargic. You're going to slow down. My wife starts rubbing my shoulder. She looks at the doctor and then looks over at me. She says, "You mean I'm going to have a normal-paced husband for a while?" I mean, it literally is what she said. And he didn't know how to take that. And then she had to explain, you don't understand the pace that Drew goes. And it's okay to go fast when you're thinking well, processing well, doing well, but it is also good to slow down. I think that is so important. I'm going to be forced, by the time this episode is released, Lord willing, I will be done those treatments. I will have slowed down purposely. But there's a difference between busy and fast, and I just want to kind of bring that out. Mm-hmm. I don't think fast is a bad thing, but busy very much can be a bad thing.
All right, well, let's look at 20 ways to slow down. And we'll kind of read them, maybe banter a little bit back and forth on them. This first one is, I'm going to read it because
If the shoe fits, wear it.
I need to abide by this.
If the shoe fits, wear it.
Number one, drive the speed limit. Like, not below the speed limit. Those people are monsters, but like drive the speed limit.
That is so good.
So part of what that means is like leave on time, give yourself enough time, and drive the speed limit so you don't feel hurried, hectic, and frantic. I think, man, there's so much about this. I'm doing this podcast for me because I need this. I need to slow down, just drive the speed limit. Be okay with not being in the fast lane.
So you don't have to beat the GPS. Is that what you're saying?
Game on. Let's try.
I
will arrive in
years ago. I had a wake up call where I was. This goes back decades. I was pulled over. Really should not have been, but I was. But it was my wake up call, and since that time, I will say that probably 90+% of my time driving is the speed limit, and number one, I enjoy it better. I'm not having to be aggressive with my driving, weaving in and out. I put the cruise control on and let it go, and I'm actually able to see a little bit more. And, okay, I'm lifting the hood. I'm letting you see inside me. My gas mileage has increased tremendously by not having such that heavy foot.
Yeah.
I drive the speed limit because I think if I go faster, my car will fall into 4 pieces. So
That is so good.
no, but there is something good about just driving the speed
I'll
limit.
help you put it back together, Tyler. Bring it over to the garage.
Yeah, connected to that, I think the second one is get in the slow lane.
Amen.
Yeah.
You don't need to be passing everyone all the time. Just sit in the slow lane. It's okay.
I am all for that.
The third one is come to a full stop at stop signs.
What?
Why might
You
that
can,
be important?
You can do that?
So I do struggle with that one because, like, for crying out loud, I'm thinking about fuel efficiency, and I'm these backcountry roads, and I'm just like slowing down. There's no one coming. I'm just like, we're just gonna keep on going for the sake of fuel. I'm gonna save the planet one California stop at a time.
Well, and the thing is, you and I, Tim, we live out in the countryside, and we have stop signs. We don't have traffic lights. And when you're driving at night, it's kind of easy to kind of do a roll.
Yeah, you know it's coming.
You know it is. And I'll be honest, the driving the speed limit's easy, but there's one stop sign at night it doesn't get stopped at. Well, okay, wait a second. I got to make it 2. There's 2. I forgot the other one. It's by a covered bridge.
Yeah.
We got covered bridges in our area, and there's one. If I don't see headlights or another car on the other side, I'm sorry. Bad me.
So, but the point though is, why do we do that? I blame it on fuel efficiency because I kind of nerd out about that. I do want to get a better fuel efficiency score.
Tune-ups.
But like, it's also because I'm just in a hurry. I'm impatient. I'm just impatient.
That's probably more for most of us.
Yeah. So it's good medicine for my soul. Stop at the stop sign. All right, number 4. Don't text and drive. Like, put your phone down. You don't need it. Don't text and drive.
Isn't there a law about that in
There
Pennsylvania
certainly
now?
is.
In Pennsylvania, where we all live, I think there's a law about that.
I love that so far out of the 4 things,
all
3
about
of them are laws.
Yeah.
Like,
Just obey the stinking laws.
follow the rules. You'll be fine.
Oh my. Well, see, is using Siri the same as texting and driving?
Consult an attorney.
No, it's not, because it's speech to text.
Yeah, I do that. I do that, not all the time, but periodically. I'll just wind up saying, I call her name and send it to my wife, and boom, out it goes.
Yeah, because you're not picking up your phone, you're not taking your eyes off the road. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Okay, so use Siri.
Google, come on now.
Use,
We're not all Neanderthals.
I got some fighting words going
Come
on
on,
there.
Siri is not the best assistant.
I will
It's
tell you
really
that
not.
she is not the best assistant, but the bottom line is she gets my text messages to my wife.
The heart of this point is probably to say,
that Google is better than Siri.
let's just wait. Like the communication can wait.
Wait till we
Take
get
your
home.
time.
Wait
Yeah.
till we get to work.
That's probably the point.
Yeah.
Yes. So number 5, show up 10 minutes early for an appointment. Sans phones. I don't know what that means.
That means without the phone.
Without the phone.
Oh, there you go. Sans phones. No phones. Show up early and like actually just wait. I don't know.
You know what? I was told decades ago when I was in Bible college by my one professor, if you show up on time, you're late. If you show up 5 to 10 minutes early, you're on time.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me.
Yeah.
And I can't say I do that 100% of the time, but I try to do that if I want to make sure I don't hold somebody else out time-wise in appointments.
But if you do that, then you don't have to speed. You can stop at the stop signs. You don't have to worry about texting and driving. You're just doing your thing, and you're getting there early. You're doing it without a phone. His whole point is read a book, talk to a human being. Here's a novel idea. Pray.
Ooh.
Pray. Use the time, 5 minutes, to prepare your heart and your mind for the time. Pray for the person that you'll meet with and the people you'll interact with. Pray for the wisdom and the recommendations and the process, all that happens. Pray. I love that, and it's helpful. It's not just like, should be early. Just that's what godliness is. No, it just creates the space in your life for you to practice the other disciplines like praying and being aware of the other humans around you and what God might be doing in their lives so that you're ready to speak and to share a word of truth and encouragement.
Number 6, this one might be crossing a line. It says, get in the longest checkout line at the grocery store.
Oh, where is he coming from?
This actually could be a good thing. I tried this. I had to run out to Giant recently to pick up some things, and I tried this. I got in the longest line, which it still exists. You can get into a line at the grocery store. It's not all self-checkout anymore. But it was actually kind of therapeutic because you're standing there and you're forced to wait. I try to just not touch my phone. And there's something about forcing yourself to be in situations like, oh man, why is this even stressful for us? Why is standing in a long checkout line even stressful for us? Like, people used to do it all the time, but we're so in a hurry to get to the next thing that just try it. It'll force you to slow down for a minute.
So today's Thursday. Thursdays, I'll often run to the bank and do some banking stuff. And I find that that's when I just get so, I don't know what the word is, worked up or frustrated, or I'm just in such a hurry. I get to the bank and everything is slow and frustrating. And I feel like my heart just kind of let's go. I just want to go. Let's get this done. And I'm like, I read this and I'm like, man, I need to just slow down, because what happens when I do that? The teller, the cashier is an obstacle and not a person.
That's good.
That's a good point.
And I'm not thinking about them. I'm thinking about me. I'm so self-focused. I'm only thinking about what's in my best interest and not in the best interest of others. I really need to slow down and allow myself the discipline of being in the slow lane and just being at rest. In my heart, being at rest and just letting it be what it is. Because I'm so tuned up all the time to be like, go, go, go. Slow lane. He says this. He says, rather than your default, right? How about pray? Pray for the items while you're dealing with different things. Instead of listening to your phone or listening on your headphones to a podcast, texting your spouse and thinking about all of the other things, then mistreating the person in the checkout line and forgetting that they're a precious soul as well.
That's good.
Have you ever been to the checkout lines? There's a place not too far from us in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's called Shady Maple. It's got a smorgasbord, but it's also got a supermarket. Been to the supermarket many times, and I was there just recently, and I get in line, and I was watching these other people, and they're jumping from line to line to get to the shortest line, the one that's moving fastest. And then I saw this couple, they divided and conquered into two. And it's like, well, you get in that lane, I'm listening to this. You get in that lane, I'll get in this lane. And whichever one's moving faster, jump right on over to the other one. So, but that's how our world is. Yeah. And we're constantly jockeying and juggling and trying to get around. It's like, yeah, I get that there may be times of speed and hurry. But that's not normal or shouldn't be.
Tyler, I'd like you to walk us through number 7.
Turn your smartphone into a dumb phone. This is good. We live in a culture that is so connected, and you'd say, "Oh, it's good that we're connected," but I would say it's actually to a point where it's a fault. Our default, as Tim kind of just alluded to, is like, okay, if we're standing in line at the grocery store, instead of just like taking a deep breath and talking to the person next to us in line, we default to pulling out our phone and we start scrolling on whatever social media app you want to be on. And hey, like we've all been there, but this point of turning your smartphone into a dumb phone could be really helpful. What that means, what I think he's alluding to is like, hey, get rid of all the stuff that is just sucking your time away. Yeah. Your phone is meant to communicate. It's meant to like, hey, call your kids or call your spouse or do what you need to do.
It's at your service, not your at its service.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be a slave to it.
That's a real good point.
Too many people are slaves to their phone.
Yeah.
To the point where we even have what's the word for the doctor that cracks your spine?
Chiropractor.
It's the point where we have like chiropractic issues because we're looking down so much. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like just take a break.
Well, Tyler, just the other day, you were in my office. We were sitting down chatting, and remember what I was talking about? On my Apple Watch, I learned about this new mode called theater mode, where it doesn't interfere with things. The text messages, everything's come through, but it's not beeping, buzzing, wailing at me or whatever. And you were even saying there was another mode that you were talking about.
Do not disturb. It's not revolutionary, but it's DND, very helpful.
Don't disturb.
Yeah.
But what a good thing to consider going. It's not saying, it says turn your phone into a dumb phone. Dumb phone means it doesn't constantly bother you.
So he gives a non-official checklist, some suggestions you may want to consider. How about a few of these? Take your email off of your phone.
That's good.
Take all social media off your phone, transfer it to the desktop, and schedule set times to check in each day or ideally each week. Mm-hmm. Disable your web browser. This is a way of, again, forcing you to not just use your phone to answer every curiosity you have, but to go back to a desktop and try to figure that out. Delete all notifications. I love this. I hate anything that makes noise. If your phone beeps and boops,
triggered.
So yeah, not happy with that.
And if you hang out with Tim's dad, you would know exactly.
Not a fan. I like my dad.
Not a fan of
his notifications.
Not a fan of his notifications.
No.
He likes his dad.
I do. But yeah, remove notifications. That theater mode or don't disturb. I love that as well. Ditch the news apps. Delete every single app that you don't actually need to make your life easier. How about consolidate your apps? Use a couple simple apps, free up your home screen, get rid of the clutter. You don't need all of that.
Yeah. Don't look at my phone.
Yeah, and then maybe set your phone to grayscale, which again forces you to interact with your phone in a different way. These are ways of dumbifying your phone, and there are apps and there are other programs that you can do to actually really lock stuff down to deal with that. But these are ways of slowing down your life by turning your phone into a dumb phone.
And if you want to take it one step further, his 8th point is actually to get a flip phone or just ditch the smartphone altogether, which can be helpful.
It would be. I would twitch. I mean, I'd go through withdrawal. I'd probably be having problems.
We all would.
Cheryl and I have a family member who's technologically challenged, and he has a flip phone. And I think the flip phone is from decades ago, and it's still operational on a very low-key thing. I mean, I've watched him text once, and it's like he's hitting the button like 600 times to get one phrase out the door.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, so in keeping with the whole theme of phones, the next thing is how about parent your phones?
That's good.
Parent your phones, put them to bed before you do, and make them sleep in. I love that idea of parenting your phones. Put them to bed before you leave them in the kitchen. Keep them out of the bedroom, so that you don't have to deal with it. It's not tempted to look at it, and it's a good thing.
I'll bring a little bit of a challenge to that one. I'm not opposed to that, but I'm at the age now. I have my kids are out of the house. I got a granddaughter. And I travel quite a bit. My wife and I have a policy. We have our phones with us if something happens, especially if I'm traveling. I have no problem bringing the phone into the bedroom and the phone's sitting there. We actually charge them at night. But I do have a problem of laying in bed staring at it,
like doom scrolling.
looking at it. And I think it's important to stay connected to loved ones. Mm-hmm. That to me is critical, but not at 11:30 at night texting them and stuff like that. To me, there's a time the phone goes down and it does not get any more interaction because I need to focus on my sleep so I can be fresh and ready for the next day.
So what about the next one? I like this one, number 10. Keep your phone off until after your morning quiet time. That's nice. What I like about that is the first thing that you interact with in the morning isn't your phone. You know, you could actually make it the Word, which would be very helpful for many of us, most all of us, as we go throughout the day to day.
Yeah. So he talks about stats. 75% of people sleep next to their phones, and 90% of people check their phones the first thing when they wake up.
I believe it.
That's obviously not great. And look, you don't want to let your phone set your emotional equilibrium for your day.
Ooh, what a good one.
And your news feed to set your view of the world.
Wow.
Amen.
He goes on and he talks about the importance of making sure that you're in the Word, you're focusing on God's Word. You want to allow that to set your emotional equilibrium, allow the Word of God to set your worldview. And then he quotes a friend of his, a church in Melbourne, Australia. They have a phrase they use. They say, "Win the day," and by that they mean, at the beginning of each day, put your phone on the other side of your house and don't look at it until after you've spent time in devotion to God. Mm-hmm. He calls that winning the day. Are you winning the day today?
Interesting.
And the one measure they use, one of the measures, I'm sure, there are probably others, is that you don't look at your phone until you've spent time in God's Word. Spend time with God.
That's good.
I tell you what, I would be benefited by implementing that practice.
Yeah. I think everybody would.
Yeah, we don't want to make it legalistic, but I think these are ways of helping us.
So number 11 is setting times for email. Years and years and years ago, at my second ministry, when in the infancy of the Apple iPhone, and we all had them on staff, and I just remember sitting there at different meetings, and all of a sudden you hear bing, bing, bing. People are getting their emails left and right. After about a couple years of that going on, I decided I can't constantly be interrupted. So I still I get email through my phone, but I tell my phone, do not update it until I open the app. So I think that's an important thing. I don't want to have email reminders coming to me or having me know that I'm important, that this person's emailing me. No, it's not the person's emailing me. It's the shoe company trying to sell me a shoe or something like that.
Yeah, that's why you use better apps. Some of the apps are just terrible. They give you notifications for everything.
So I would say setting times for email is a perfect thing. On your phone, you can set it up so that you do not get automatic emails. They come through automatically. They only happen when you open the app. I have chosen to do that, I'm going to say a good maybe 20 years ago. And that has been so revolutionary for me in trying to be more focused with what I do.
Yep. This actually is helpful for me with work in particular, because what it allows me to do is respond more thoughtfully to the people that email me. And it's not just like I gotta get this response back. Sometimes it's like that. There are seasons.
Yeah.
But like being able to give a thoughtful response is helpful. Yeah.
So he says, remember, the more emails you do, the more emails you will do. Email pings off of itself.
Interesting.
So that's one of his points, is get rid of your email off of your phone. only do emails at certain times. He does it once a week. He actually talks about the way he does it. He does it once a week. And he has an autoresponder and says, hey, I do emails once a week. I'll respond to you on Monday. If it's really important, then you need to do this or that to get in touch with me. And what that does is
that's radical.
he finds most emails are resolved by the time he gets to it. Mm-hmm. So it's not that big of a deal. So he doesn't have to respond. Or that he has the time to be able to kind of make a thoughtful response, kind of like what you said.
That's radical.
Yeah. Not everyone can do that, but some of us can, and maybe some of us should.
Sorry, Tim, I'm not going to respond to your email for another week. Just letting you know, Tim.
It's okay. I'll get to your paycheck when I get around to it.
That was good comeback. That was good.
I like number 12, which is kind of similar, but it's setting a time and a time limit for social media usage, or just simply get off of it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us would be benefited by that.
It's Tyler, we talk about this. I mean, we are on social media with Life Institute, with Stewardology, with Life Financial Group. We're on social media.
Not to mention our personals. Yeah.
Not to mention, but one of the things that we've encouraged our team to do is when we post different things, let's get out there and share it. I've told you many times, Tyler, I'm not on it much. I don't want to. Years ago, I was on it a lot. Mm-hmm. I have pulled back. Though, if you see my face, sorry about that. We're on social media. But I'm not there scrolling for myself and others. Pick and choose what you want to do. I remember just no more than like 3 weeks ago, my wife and I were sitting down on the couch, and we were both vegged. We were done, toast. It was like 6:30 in the evening. We were toast, and we were thinking about watching something on TV. We have a couple shows we like to record and watch. Instead, we both were sitting there with our phones. This has never happened before. And we're just on social media. We're looking at things, and she's showing me pictures of baby hippos and chuckling about that. And I'm looking at stuff with cars and showing, and it just become a waste of time. We have never done that. We haven't done that prior. We haven't done that since. But I've been impressed by that time, how addictive that can be to suck time and life and brain cells out of you for useless things, including baby hippos. My wife just loves baby hippos.
One of the things that I implement, because I manage the socials for the company here, but also like my own stuff, is social media scheduler softwares.
Yeah.
Lifesaver. Because I can, for example, the optimum time to post on social media on certain platforms is like noon on a Wednesday. It's like I'm working. I got stuff to do. Right, but I can schedule it ahead of time, and it does it, and I don't even have to think of it. Like, it's great. If that's something that you're into, you're like, well, I can't get off the social media because I work on it. Something to consider.
We get that.
So number 13, kill your TV.
Oh, no.
Kill your TV.
Violent.
I know, it's violent.
Tyler's got guns. You got guns.
Yeah. Look, so Reed Hastings, he's the CEO of Netflix. He was asked what the biggest competition is for Netflix. Is it Amazon Prime or some of the up and comers? And Reed Hastings, without skipping a beat, shrugged and said, "No, the biggest competition that we have is sleep."
That's wild.
Wow.
Sleep. Now, he goes on and says this. Let me just read 2 paragraphs to you because I think it's absolutely worth the time to read through this. And lest you think my crusade is just against wasting time, remember, what we give our attention to is the person we become, for good or evil.
It's true.
As my parents used to tell me, garbage in, garbage out. Every single thing that we let into our minds will have an effect on our souls. If you fill your minds with fornication and wild, unrealistic portrayals of beauty or romance and sex or violence and the quest for revenge or cynical, secular sarcasm that we call humor or a parade of opulent wealth or simple banality, it says, what shape do you think that will give to our souls? There's not much he goes on and says, there's not much, there's very little in cinema that I can watch that does not incline my heart to lust, along with a parade of its other ruinous friends. So be really skeptical about television, movies, entertainment, because it's not necessarily good for your soul. Reed Hastings doesn't compete with Amazon Prime. He competes with your sleep.
Yeah.
How many times have we sacrificed the health of our bodies and mind by not sleeping and staying up and binging a show or an episode? Should we really be wise about this?
I don't think I've ever done that. I don't stay up late watching the TV and to mess me up. My wife and I, we just got a couple shows. She loves the sports. Depends on the sport. I'll sit down and watch it with her, but I'd much rather be in my garage.
So number 14, single task. What is meant by that, Tim?
Well, he says this. Multitasking is this. It's a sleight of hand for switching back and forth from a lot of different single tasks so that we can do them all poorly instead of doing one well.
So true.
So different task. Focus on one thing at a time, and don't allow yourself to be distracted by lots of different tasks coming at you all at once. There is a book that I've read. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It'll probably come to me later. But the whole point of it is it's called focus time. That's what it's called, focus time. It's about setting periods of time to do deep. It's not called focus time. It's called deep work, which deals with focus time. That's what it's called.
You told me about this book.
Deep work. And with deep work, we're able to actually focus and do deeper things. He then talks about there's a switching tax on our attentions and our energy and on our time. Every time we switch from one task to another, it takes us a certain amount of time to get back into the mode that we were in before and up to the level of efficiency that we were at before in terms of our workflow and process. Every one of you hearing my voice knows it's true. You've seen it. You've experienced it. So build into your life the ability to singly focus on one thing at a time, and have breaks of time where you can do other less urgent multitasky types of things that are not requiring the kind of level of focus you need to do your best work.
Number 15 is walk slower.
Oh, I don't like that one.
This one actually got me because, so I have a little 2-year-old girl, and she likes, every day we go on a walk together. Just me and her. We go outside and we take a little bit of a walk. And she's got little legs. She's like 3 feet tall, so she walks slow. And that forces me to walk slow. And when we first were doing this, I would just want to pick her up and kind of walk at my pace, because let's face it, deep down, I was like, I want to get through the walk because I have other things to do. I caught myself on that attitude. Now it's purposely, I let her kind of walk a little bit in front of me, so I can observe and see, and it just forces me to slow down and enjoy the moment, enjoy where I'm at, because here's what happens when I'm starting to walk slower through the moment. I notice the birds chirping. I notice the color of the trees around me. It's fall right now. It's beautiful. I notice other things that are happening, and it causes me to appreciate them and enjoy them a little bit more, rather than just getting from point A to point B as fast as I can. I really do appreciate this point. Obviously, there's times for like walking fast and getting to where you need to be, but like go on a walk and like actually look around you. It's amazing.
I am notoriously walking fast. That is who I am and how I'm wired. Again, decades ago, I remember a prof when I was in Bible college. He said, if you walk 20% faster, you will get there 20% sooner. And it resonated with me. My kids, as they were growing up, they were around me. They walk fast. My wife was left in the dust many times. I still walk fast, but I have carved out those times. Like my wife and I, we live out in the country. We go for a couple-mile walk down by French Creek and it's covered bridges and other bridges and stuff. We go for that long walk. I go at her pace when we do that. And because I want to walk beside her, I don't want to walk in front of her. So there's times that I'm going to go at the pace that is around me. But if you would see me walk across a parking lot or just a food store, watch out, because the cart may bump into you at the end, because I walk fast as I go around. It's just I've always done that.
On this point, John Mark Comer says, my point is this: one of the best ways to slow down our overall pace of life is to literally slow down your body. Force yourself to move through the world at a relaxed pace. That's good advice.
Yeah.
Good advice.
16 is take a regular day alone for silence and solitude.
I like that one.
He actually says a lot about silence and solitude in this book. In fact, that's his first recommendation with how to have an unhurried life, is to get away from your phones, get away from the audiobooks and the music, and just be alone with your mind and God. To allow yourself to hear God, to talk to God, to think. I'm reminded of a scene in The Two Towers, The Lord of the Rings. Actually, this is probably the Return of the King, where Pippin is on the back of Gandalf, and he's asking him all these questions. It's Merry or Pippin. I usually get those two confused. One of the two. He's asking these questions about like the Palantir and all of these things, and where are they going? What are they doing? And Gandalf scolds him and says, I need time to think. And it's like a common theme throughout the entire book that the people who were the wisest were the ones who actually were willing to stop talking and just think, use their minds and remember and process. Like that's part of what this silence and solitude is, to give you the time to think, because we live thoughtless lives. And that's what all of these things are telling us to do. Drive slow, like do the speed limit, turn off your phone, turn off your TV, get rid of your notifications. All of these things are all about giving you space to think. Show up early for an appointment. Think. Have time to be alone. Have time to talk with God. Again, I need this chapter. I need more of these attitudes and practices to be part of my life.
I'm going to say sometimes people can't carve out an entire day, but can you take an hour and then work your way up from there? Again, living out in the country, we have a pond in our front yard. I enjoy just walking around it. I enjoy sitting down next to it. If there's 40 cars on my street in a day, that's a traffic jam. So we're out there. There's not many people around. It's quiet. I enjoy it. I can sit in my backyard and look out over what I call the back 40 and just look out there, watch the deer, the animals, the birds, sometimes eagles and osprey flying around. I so enjoy that. Can I do an entire day? I've done it. I was forced at a retreat that I did decades ago for youth ministry. It was actually good. The first day was awkward. Second day was fair. Third day, I loved it. But maybe you just need to work up and say, okay, maybe I can't do a full day, but maybe you can do an hour, 2 or 3, and just work your way up, because that silence, that solitude, that processing, that prayer can really make a difference.
Last couple here, take up journaling. This is all part of thinking, right? If we're going to be focused on thinking, write your thoughts out. Sometimes it helps you to organize your thoughts. So take up journaling. And this is a great thing to do on a day of solitude. Solitude and thinking, journal. Mm-hmm. Number 18, experiment with mindfulness and meditation. I think a lot of people get weirded out about this. They get a little new agey. And his point is not that you should take up yoga or something like that, but there is a sense to which we need to watch, kind of like listen to our body, listen to our breathing, our heart rate, and just slow it down. Let's be mindful with the way that we're going through life. That's not to empty ourselves, but to actually focus on the presence of the Holy Spirit within us. Focus on what is He doing in our life and in our spirits.
I find that I can do that best when I'm hunting. That and the whole silence and solitude thing, it's therapeutic.
I hear that a lot
yeah.
from hunters.
Oh, yeah.
You should take it up sometime.
I'm not even mad if I don't come home with a deer because
Yeah.
I'm like, I just spent the whole day out there and I feel great about it. Like,
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
It's good. It's good. And then if you take a vacation, take a long vacation if you can afford it. Just to get away, to connect with nature, to connect with your family, to be in God's creation. Not everyone can do this. We understand that it's a luxury, but if you can, there's some benefit to justification for taking a vacation, taking a long vacation. What would you have to do in your life to take 3 weeks off? How would you need to organize your life and your working time to enable you to do that?
I was just with a gentleman who we did a stewardship review with. He'll go away, but his more a vacation is more backpack tent, inexpensive. He just needs the time off from work to go, so his costs are very minimal. So it doesn't have to be an expensive vacation. It can just be a break, an extended break away from things.
Yeah. And then finally, as we wrap this thing up, I like this one. Cook your own food, eat in.
I love that one.
It not only is it good on the budget, it's good on your health. You eat better when you do your own cooking, and it's from scratch.
And it tastes better.
Yes. Yeah, and it does. It tastes better. But again, part of that is just connecting to the process of cooking and preparing, and it's therapeutic. Cooking can be very therapeutic.
And you can save a ton of money.
Yeah, and it just tastes better. Yeah, it's good.
Better on your budget.
Well, I think this episode was really helpful for me, and I hope it was for you as well, because as we get busy lives, like I said earlier, things go missing. Maybe we spend unintentionally, and we end up missing financial goals. But it's also good for our heart just to slow down and to think about what God is doing in our lives, and to think about where we're trying to go. How do we want to grow over this next year spiritually? And make those goals. Journal, write them out. Take some time to slow down and figure that out. I think it's incredibly helpful. So, all of that being said, one more episode left in the year. We're looking forward to what God has for us in 2026. But we'll see you next time. Take care. God bless. And slow down. Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us on the Stewardology Podcast, where financial stewardship and theology meet. We'd like to help you take your next steps in biblical financial stewardship. Subscribe in your podcast provider to get the newest episode delivered to you every week. Leave a 5-star rating and review to help new listeners find the show. Take advantage of your free personal stewardship review at stewardologypodcast.com/review. Be sure to follow us on social media and visit our website at stewardologypodcast.com for tons of free resources and hundreds of free episodes. You can also leave episode ideas at stewardologypodcast.com/idea. Remember, Psalm 20, verse 7, some trust in chariots and some trust in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. See you next week.